Questions?
Always good to win the first one, move on to the second one. It was again, I expected pretty much what we saw Saturday. I knew we were playing a really good football team. Thought we did some really good things in our special teams game. That we certainly had some big returns there. I felt like you go back and watch film on Saturday. There's a lot of positives on both sides. We got to clean up some things. Naturally, there's still first game mistakes, but overall it was a good, hard-fought game and a good win. So again, I was you're happy when you sit here anytime on Monday after a win.
Is Jalen Evans the fastest guy on the team?
We've got. I couldn't tell you who could. There's about 4 guys I could line up on the line, and Jalen would be in that mix, and it would be it'd be an interesting race to watch. I think when you look at Jalen, D, Quiz, DeMichael, those guys, maybe that would be. I'd be a liar, Patrick, if I knew. I know this. He'd definitely be in the lineup to be on that line because Jalen can really run. I think he's a special football player, and he's a guy that can make plays. And again, give him a ton of credit. I think, in my opinion, he should be the national special teams player of the week. But like we talk about in football, let's don't forget about those guys that do all the blocking up front too. Football's a team game, and I was really, really proud of those guys also in the job that they did. So again, just a great job by our return unit Saturday.
Coach, Jalen struggled with injuries a lot last year. How good was it to see him really break out in the week 1?
It's good, but see, I thought he was playing really well last year too, week 1 through 4. He was having Jalen's a good football player, and but again, unfortunately, week 4, I think we were at Auburn. We lost him for the season, and again, he's a good football player, and those are plays. I'd be lying if I said I was surprised by the plays Jalen's making. He's a guy that can do those type things.
Foxworth got the 2 personal fouls.
Mm-hmm.
How long is he out for? Can he play next week in the third quarter? How does that work?
Well, I got to check on that because I don't know, because it wasn't a targeting, and it was not. It was just he had 2 unsportsmanlikes, and so I got to check. I don't know if there is. Again, I'm not positive if there is a suspension for that, so we'll check on that.
The offensive line seemed like it was playing the best there in the third quarter, or it looked like it was.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They did.
Is that the line you think maybe going forward?
I think we definitely are. Like I said, we got competition at the offensive line. So again, that's what we're going to keep doing. But I felt like that unit third quarter started gelling. Again, and let's face it, in the first half, we had a special teams touchdown, and then we had Alcorn had 2 possessions where they kept the ball. So we didn't get a ton of opportunities either in the first half. But I thought in the third quarter and the early fourth quarter, I thought we were able to move the ball successfully. And I thought we had a couple drops, but I thought we threw the ball well. And toward the end, with our O-line, Kevin and those guys, D and Jordan, they started hitting some big plays in the run game. So we just got to continue to get better. Week 1 to week 2, that's kind of our journey.
Coach Andrew Stein, I know those were
Good
kind of short attempts,
Yeah.
but he looked steady out there. Is that the way you found what you're talking
Well, he has, and again, I thought he kicked off well. I thought he kicked his field goals well. He's actually our special teams player of the week because Jalen's my vote for national special teams player of the week. So we're gonna give a dog a bone and let Andrew. But I think he's a true freshman to come out and kick like he kicked. I thought that was a deserving effort out there.
What kind of range does he have?
He's got, he kicked the ball 8 yards deep in the end zone. So he's a young man that's got a strong leg. And again, that was my concern leaving spring practice was our kicking game when Briggs got hurt. So we addressed that with Andrew and Ryan and those guys, and we got a couple other guys that we feel like are good kickers. So our depth in the kicking game has certainly improved over the summer.
What do you see from State?
A good football team. I said this earlier, and State's no exception. Again, they're here we go with another bowl team. They're an SEC football team. They're physical, they're fast, they're a talented football team. So we know we're playing a really good football team. I think that's the call to order for us almost every game for the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season. So again, they're a football team that has our utmost respect.
Not a lot of tape on Tommy Stevens, sat a while at Penn State, and now he's finally getting his shot at Mississippi State. How do you prepare for the
I
quarterback?
thought he played extremely well Saturday. He's a multi-talented quarterback. He can run it, he can throw it. He kind of looks like Nick back there, Fitzgerald, with that number 7 on running around. So again, we know he's a really good football player. So quarterbacks of that athletic capability make you work.
And Colin Hill, I know he's probably got it. I mean, how tough a runner.
He had a good game too. Colin, I've known back when he was in Columbus, back in high school, and we thought he was a heck of a running back there. And he didn't disappoint on Saturday against Lafayette. He's a total package running back.
Anything Mississippi State did in that game that surprised you, how well they did? Or
I wouldn't know. They're a good football team, so we know that. So it won't be any surprises in that regard. They're a good team.
What did you think of Perkins whenever he had his touches?
I thought he did some good things. KP came in. I thought he did well. I thought he ran the ball well. I thought he protected well. So did Jordan D. Baker. It's good to see D has some explosives. So we've got some guys that again we're kind of a committee, running back by committee. It's what we are, and those guys bring a different element.
Did Alcorn do anything that surprised you guys? I know they had a new coordinator bringing something to the table.
No, I just, I really, they're a football team that I knew was a good football team. You're not a bowl team if you're no good, and they're a 5-time champion. So anytime you're a 5-time champion and you're a bowl team, everyone, you know that you're facing a team that's got a lot of confidence. They're a good football team. We watched the New Mexico State game, and they should have won that game last year out in New Mexico. I mean, they had the chances, and we knew what we were facing. And again, some of those guys, and I mentioned earlier or after the game, a lot of those guys, I was in the living room with some of those seniors, so I know they're, in my opinion, my honest opinion, I think there were some really good football players on the field. And I was just thankful when we came. I think we brought DeMario and Arvin were 2 guys that we brought with us to Southern Miss there at the very end, but I wouldn't have liked to seen them on the other side of the ball either. So that's a good football team. And I think there's definitely a football team that should be favored to win that conference again. They're really a talented team.
Perkins, he arrived as a walk-on.
He did. He was a walk-on. Actually, KP kind of found us. So he was a young man that came in January and had a good spring. We actually put him on, Patrick, in July. But he had a solid spring. He ran hard, and we just felt like we needed some depth at running back.
Coach, I don't think you'll address Mosley, but you talk about the running backers committee. Is Marbury in that mix, or what's?
I think so. I think Darius is a guy that's had some practice. He's just been hadn't been healthy a lot. I mean, Darius is a young man. I'm just waiting to get him. This summer he kind of would be in and out of practice. He'd be out for 3 or 4 days, then back. So, Darius is another guy that's back there that he can run, he can play. So, I want to get him. Hopefully, he'll get up and and go in too and get healthy and because I think he's a capable back.
Just to kind of going back is it looking at state now, or did y'all kind of pick apart the game on Saturday much?
We moved on, Patrick, yesterday, but that first game, you're exactly right there. That first game, you look a lot. You spend a lot of time because you need to make sure you're correcting mistakes that you're making week 1. I think as you get later in the season, you're able to move on to the next opponent a little bit quicker. But again, we spent some time yesterday morning for sure, making sure we're correcting mistakes.
And just kind of when we're able to kind of look at it now, whenever you look at it the next day, did you feel better?
Yeah, I did. I felt better. When I left, again, there's things on the field. I think when I left Saturday, I wasn't as pleased with. But then when I looked at it on game really felt like we did some really good things up front, you know, and again, you can be just one guy that far away, it can be the difference in something really, really special happening, and so I felt like, we're getting close, and, I was pretty pleased. I was a lot happier Sunday morning than I was Saturday night.
Who'd you give the offensive and defensive to?
We gave, Jack the offensive player, and, defensively, DQ Thomas was our player. Of course, Andrew was our special teams player.
No Jalen.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're gonna give Andrew a T-shirt. Jalen, I think if he doesn't get some national award for that, I'm you know, if he doesn't, let's put it this way: if Jalen doesn't get a national award or conference award, we're gonna give him a shirt too. You know, usually we like to try to spread the wealth. If we know one of our players is gonna get Conference USA Special Teams Player or National Special Teams Player, we usually like to give another dog a bone right there and give another guy the gift. But I thought Andrew did a good job.
Yeah, Jalen did okay.
Yeah, he did all right.
Do you feel like you kind of leave that first game, not that you didn't have to put everything out there?
You know, there's certain things that again, Patrick, you talk to a football coach, man, come on. You know, there's things you do in each game. You ain't playing each game, so each game's a different week, you know.
Anything else for Coach?
Have any of the kids been up there this last time? So there's some carryover on this team from the last one that went up there, or am I, in terms of the players?
Probably
They
not.
went
Okay, so
where?
that-
You talking about here or up there? Up there, you talking about?
No.
Too late.
No, too late.
No, there's only a couple red shirts from the 15 team, no 14 guys.
No.
Okay, so but a lot of these guys walked into Auburn. I mean, this is not gonna be a shock to them.
Well, we usually play 2 a year, at SEC games, so we know we're playing a good. Anytime we know we're playing in SEC team, we know we got a good football team around. There's no surprises there.
Tim Jordan would have played here in 15.
Yeah,
Jordan Mitchell.
right.
Anything else?
All right, guys.